So, hello everyone, it's Sakuems here. Sorry it's been a while. I was supposed to upload this tutorial last Sunday, but I got sick and I'm just getting back together now. So yeah, I'm a bit late, but I didn't want to do like a quick tutorial and sneezing all the time. I'm still a bit sick, but since I promised to you that I will do a hair tutorial, here it is. So it's going to be pretty long, I think. I don't know really. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of things to show to you. Well, a lot of you guys have asked me to do some tutorials, especially how to do the hair. And also in one of my previous video, which is like the Hanami illustration, someone also asked me how do I color hair because they look really real. So yeah, I just figured that I just choose to do a complete hair tutorial because I don't want to really just give you like a small tip in 2 minutes. It will not help you. It will not make any difference if I just show you like how I do hair and not actually showing you and not teaching you how to make them step by step. So yeah, also just a little disclaimer, this is just the way I do hair, and this is just like a small piece, a small part of what is like drawing hair basically, because I'm not going to show you every kind of hair size, every kind of haircuts. You can definitely have fun with haircuts and hairstyles as long as you just keep the basic physics as like gravity. But yeah, basically you can do whatever you want, but yeah, I just wanted to do this quick disclaimer that even if I will show you many stuff, you still have to search for more information and practice and search through fashion books and look at your own hair to see how they are made and how they grow and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for this little introduction, and I'm just going to start with the the 3 ways of drawing hair. Basically, when you are an artist, you can draw hair in many ways, but I think there's mostly like 3 styles of drawing hair. Well, there's many styles, but basically you will work from realistic to like really simplified, because when you draw, you basically copying reality, but you are simplifying the way you look at it, and you simplifying every lines. Or you want to really be like on the realistic side, and then you're going to get to the photo result, like I will just say like photorealistic results. So yeah, I can't really like show any kind of style and every style. I just selected 3 like major used styles. I think usually there is like a manga style of drawing things. There's what I will call the illustrative style, which is mostly my own style because I try to be like anime but realistic in the same time, because I don't really like really manga simplified stuff, although I really like chibis, so but yeah, chibi is a really specific way of drawing. And yeah, so there's the illustrative style, which is in the middle here, and there's what I will call the realistic style, even though this is not really realistic because it is still not really like realistic features in the face, is not really realistic, but the hair tends to go on the photorealistic results style. So yeah, these are the basic 3 styles that I will try to explain to you. So for the manga style, basically what I just told you like 2 minutes ago. When you draw something, it just doesn't have to really be hair, but when you draw something, you are basically going to simplify every line, or you're just going to erase some part. At some point you can't really draw everything, and when you are on a drawing, basically you're just going to enhance everything that you are seeing. For example, you know, in real life, things don't have lines. You just have some, you just have shapes, and when you draw, you do like the line art, and you do inking, and you do contouring. But in real life, you don't have any contouring. You just have things that are made in 3 dimensions. So no matter what style you are choosing to draw with, you are going to like, you have to make a choice between doing like really like real stuff or going really simple. So yeah, basically what I do for like my own style is a mix between, I like to have a simplified illustrative lines, but I don't want them to be too childish, manga-ish, if that isn't a word, but yeah, I want to be like in the middle. So yeah, onto this basic drawing style, because I'm going to teach you how to draw them. But before that, I wanted to just show to you this little heads here that I just printed. I just did on computer because it was easier for me. So you can see on this left side that this is like a manga face with manga hair. Basically, manga hair are just really simplified. You are like, you just draw the basic lines, the basic movement, the basic dynamic, and most of the time the way the hair is draw is like, it has no gravity. You can see many manga artists that are just drawing really pointy and edgy look of hair that are basically not possible in real life unless you use ton of gel or like a lot of things in your hair to make them hold the shape. But it's not possible. But this is just a way to enhance a character, and you don't really have to be realistic, because manga is nothing but like, is nothing real in a manga. Of course, mangas, well, when I say manga, I shouldn't say manga art style, because in the manga industry there's many styles, because manga is basically the book. But by manga I was just talking about the simplified style. So yeah, this is for the manga. Basically, you can see right here that this is pretty simple. You just have to do a few strokes and just keep the basic movement and the basic dynamic, and I will just show you how to do this after. On the illustrative style, that's what I just told you before. Basically, you're going to add more details and a bit more like realistic flow. And when I talk about flow, this is really important with hair. It's not solid, it's really like lightweight, and it is really flowing. It's reacting with any kind of wind, even the smallest one. You have a lot of baby hairs. Any kind of hair is really like fragile, and it can move in many ways. So basically, when you go on the more illustrative style, I will just say that you enhance everything, and you just focused on adding more details and more flowing, maybe a few more hair strokes. No matter what like haircut or hairstyle you are doing, you're just going to be like in more detailed hairstyle. That's what I do personally. Sometimes I just switch between like a bit more simplified or a bit more realistic, but most of the time this is just what I do. And on the last girl on this side, it says what I would call a bit more photorealistic drawing and a bit more photorealistic way of drawing hair. Basically, the difference between this illustrative and this realistic way of drawing is that you keep adding more details, you keep adding more hair strokes, you maybe like flatten a bit and avoid that like edgy, pointy way of drawing hair with like manga style. Because basically you're just going to go on the like, think about the weight of the hair, you know, even if it's like really lightweight, you still have a weight. And especially when you have thick hair or a lot of hair, they're just going to like they fall basically because they are linked by gravity. So yeah, this is for the like realistic way of drawing hair. And the last thing that I wanted just to show to you before I'm just teaching you how to draw them is what can make a big difference when you draw characters is when you mixed everything. For example, on the down part here, I switched the hair between a realistic face, realistic features, and manga. So on the left side now, this little manga girl has what I would call realistic hair, and you can see that it gives a really more, like, it gives depth to a character and gives her a more edgy look. And I think this is really more I think it's more interesting when you mix styles in a drawing. So yeah, and on the right side, sorry, this realistic girl has now really manga hair and really simplified hair, and it's also giving her more edgy look. And it has nothing to do like being real, but it just, just gives more depth and more dimension to a drawing. So I think that's really nice when you do like your characters to really try to mix and and have fun with face style and hairstyle and a way to draw them and a way to draw anything. It's really funny. So yeah, that's it for like just to explain basically like 3 major style. Of course, there's a lot more different style. You can draw like a bit like more comic books, especially in the USA. They tend to work in between like realistic features but a bit more illustrative hair. Also, you can definitely like do more simplifying than this here, because especially with like chibi hair on chibis and on really like young illustration, you just have like, sometimes you don't even have hair stroke, you just basically have the hairline and a little bit of hair going around. You can really have fun, you don't have to follow this. So yeah, I'll see you in 2 seconds to teach you, well, kind of try to teach you how to draw this style. So now that I just show you how like 3 major styles of drawing them, I'm just going to go step by step with you. And if you have like time in front of you, maybe you can just grab a piece of paper and draw a simple face. So I'm just going to left you like 10 seconds to do this. Just do it like really quickly, but the basic shape of a face, even if it's like really messy and wrong, it's just okay, just so you have a base. And you can try to do this free type of faces, basically like the really manga, and try to be like a bit more realistic on the last one. And or if you don't really want to try them all, you can just basically draw free H shape and you just kind of practice every kind of hair. So I'm just going to start out with the manga way of drawing hair, because this is really simple. You have to, well, for every kind of hairstyle and hair like drawing style, one big important thing is to be confident. When you draw, you have to use your wrist, and sometimes a lot of artists don't even put their wrist on the flat surface. They draw like really freely, and I don't know how to do this. Like, I'm gonna mess up, but this is a really nice practice if you want to try it. But yeah, it's really important to be confident and don't be afraid of like messing up and do real lines, because most of the time you're just going to get back to the sketch you made and then rework on it. So it's okay if you mess up. So yeah, I'm just going to do the exact same hairstyle, which is a really basic like medium length with a fringe. And when you draw hair, you basically, like I said, simplifying everything. So just look at like the same kind of haircut on a photo of like some model or anything, and try to picture like the basic shape of it, like how the hairline is made, how the shape of the fringe, and how where the ends the hair ends, and just some kind of stuff like that. So I hope it's like close enough, but yeah, I think it's in full screen is you're gonna be able to see it. So when I draw hair, I really often start with the fringe, but one thing very important also, I think it's a must, and I know a lot of people make this kind of mistakes, and I made these mistakes when I was younger, and for many years I made it. You have to think about the head shape. Usually, and it's really like, unless you really want that result, usually you have way too much hair. People tend to do like, I don't know, maybe like above here, and it's like the girl has a really huge forehead and a really huge amount of hair, and you have yeah, it just looks like an alien basically. So I think it's really important, draw like the bottom of the head, so you have to so you know that you don't really, yeah, you shouldn't go really above it. You can add a bit of depth because hair is going to be above it, of course, but you have like kind of a guideline. And also it's really nice to have the middle line, so I'm just going to draw it here because this is basically what I will like the basic growing middle part. When your hair is growing, I would just go with the hair like hairline and hair implantation in a few minutes. But when your hair is growing, you have when if you split it, or if you do like side parting, but no matter what, you still have like the middle part of your head, and when you split your hair, it's just going to fall around it. So you don't have to do it, but if you work like straight from this point, it's going to be really easier to work both sides. So when you draw hair, like I said, be confident, and you don't, it's okay if you mess up, but manga hair is pretty simple. So just follow the hairline and you go slowly. If you do more lines, it's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you know, like do like the flicking motion, and work, and you can think about the gesture like before you do it, so you know, you just like practicing like this, and when you feel more confident, you just draw it. And you know, it takes time. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but it's the easier way to draw hair. Think about the motion and do it. And if you mess up, you just choose an eraser or we'll work on it. And yeah, so basically manga hair is really simple. You're just going to add a few strokes. Don't think about like the details or anything. You're just going to add a few strokes and do it, like, enjoy it, you know. It's okay if it's not perfect, but this is just how it works with manga hair. It's pretty simple, and voila, this is just manga hair. I should have worked with like a colored pen. I'm just going to start with the red because you can't really see it. So yeah, basically few hair strokes, really simple, and yeah, I think that's it for this little manga. This marker is not, it's just too light, you can't really see it. I'm sorry if it's not perfect, but I just wanted to show you. I'm just going to start off with like a really bigger pen so you can't really see how it works. Yeah. So this is for the manga hairstyle. Basically, you're just going to like, I did maybe like 20 hair stroke. You know, this is really simple. For the illustrative style, it's a bit more, well, I'm not going to say complicated, but you just have to do like smaller hair stroke, basically. And you also have to think about, in really 3 dimensions. This means like, when you draw hair, they are not like really flat and fall off. You have hair strokes, so basically there's a lot of hair that are going to come in front of another or between 2 pieces, especially when you have wavy hair, for example. Just look at some picture of wavy hair. It's the best example to explain that. When you draw, it's really nice to keep the dynamic, and you just have to work on the basic shape, and then you're just going to add a bit more of, break the basic shape. Basically, you break it by adding more hair stroke in the opposite direction. And I will just show to you how to make this in a few seconds when I talk about the hair dynamic. So yeah, I'm just going to go with the basic, illustrative way of drawing hair, and it's just really easy. You are going to do the exact same thing as the manga hair, but you're just going to go in a smaller section of hair. So you just going to get the exact same shape. As you can see, I'm just going the same haircut, but you're just going to get, you know, just have more hair strokes, more rounding, less pointy, less like gel holding. It's just going to be way more realistic, but in a not too much, not still illustrative. That's what I call it, illustrative style. But yeah, and you do the exact same things. It's okay if you don't like, if you do two more lines or not, you know, if you don't like it, you just gonna rework on it again. But yeah, this is, oh my god, this is really ugly. I'm sorry. This is way better here, but I'm just doing this while I'm talking, so it's not it's not really easy to make it. But you get the idea. Basically, you're just going to add more details. And the last thing, which is the realistic hair, this is where you can really just see what I'm talking about with like breaking the basic shape. So you have the basic shape of the hair, and you have like this little hair strokes that are going around and just moving and just create like a more 3D dimension, I guess. So they look more real. So I'm just going to get a really smaller pen for this one, and just going to start off by the fringe, with the fringe again, and you're just going to really keep a really fast motion and do many hair strokes. You basically doing almost every hair. You see the difference between the realistic way of drawing and the manga? And you can see I'm just doing better result with the realistic way, because I don't really use the manga style, but you know, I just wanted to just show how it may work and how it may look. So yeah, I'm just going to start again on this like really realistic way, and so I'm just going to do the basic shape like I just told you. And you see I'm just going to like follow the edge shape basically. And one thing that I'm doing right now, you see that I did this line here, and one way to create dynamic is basically by drawing the opposite side, like going in the opposite direction. So you're just going to go there, and this line here is going to, it's going to break the hair shape basically. So it's really nice to add this kind of hair stroke in the opposite direction, because this is creating the depth that you want. You see the difference? Sorry, I'm sick and this is really annoying. So yeah, on the other side, you're just going to repeat this process. Just add many hairs, break the lines, don't really care. You're just going to follow the basic shape, and have fun with it. And I'm just going to, I will show you how to color it after, so don't worry like if it looks really weird. So yeah, well, it's not really like the same hairstyle, but it's kind of the same haircut because she has long hair with a fringe, and you see the difference like between really simple lines and a bit realistic and a bit more realistic. So yeah, I think that's it for this quick step by step, but it's not over yet. I got a lot of stuff to show you. So the hair implantation, I don't think that's even a word, I'm sorry if you don't get it, but basically how the hair is like growing and the hairline. I wanted to like get some close-up and detailing on this, especially when you do like tied hairstyle. Sometimes, well, I see a lot of mistakes in the drawings. People forget, or maybe they don't know, but people forget that hair is not made of plastic. You have little hair growing anywhere. You have little hair, especially near the ear and on the neck, and all the hairline on your forehead. There is a lot of baby hairs. And you don't have to draw them, but it's really, I think it gives something more, you know, when you just like know how it's made, and you can choose to draw them or not. But basically, I really often try to draw this little hair because it really gives, like, it really makes a difference, I think. So I'm just going to start off by with the pen, let's go with the red. uh, so the basic hairline, well, it depends on many people, it depends on the people, but usually when you have hair, they tend to grow from your like temple here. I'm not going to draw here, I'm just going to like separate the hairline. So you have like slightly round hair, and it's not really perfectly round. Usually people have slightly curved, like maybe like a flat hair shape, you know, hair heart, like a flat heart shape like this. And sometimes people tend to really like lose their hair like in this area, especially the guys, you know. And you can definitely try to work on this like lower or higher hairline, but basically this is how many people are made. And what I'm just yeah, and there's a lot of baby hairs around it. You basically all like have little strokes of hair growing, and a lot of little baby hairs around the ears. So yeah, this is like the basic hairline in front, and they grow. They grow, well, I don't know, maybe you just kind of look at your own hair, I don't really know, but they grow like this, you know, on this part, and they grow all over your head, depending on what hairline you will get, but you can just see that they grow. Just maybe if you can look at a wig or something, or think about hair extension when you're just clipping them, like layering, basically your hair is layering. So yeah, I'm just going to go on the side part here. You are going to this hairline, and usually they, well, it depends on some people, they have like a little beard hair that usually they just stop right here with little baby hair, like I said, and they go back around your neck and they stop here, and they work as layers. So I'm just going to take another pen so you can see really like what I'm talking about, the layer. You are like, you have many layers, and you can see maybe at some like animation work, because people that work they work in 3 dimensions, they really use like the wig airlines basically, because they work in many layers, and sometimes they work like in patches like this, you know, and they do little piece of hair, so you just can think in 3 dimension always. So yeah, you just have many layers of hair that are growing in this position, and they growing like that, and all of this hair then are falling. So just going to do that, like one layer in green, and then they are exactly the same in every layer. And remember this little baby hair here, that's how they work. And there are here and here. It is really nice if you can just like really look at some animation work, like how they made the hair of Merida, if you can see something, this video somewhere, or yeah, any kind of 3 dimension head with hair is going to really help you if you don't really know how to draw them like on the head. I'm just going to get on the back for the last part here and just work on some details after. On the back of the head, you have a lot of baby hairs, especially under, like just under your neck, like in this area. So yeah, you have your hairline. Well, I don't really know how it's made here because I don't really look at my back, but you have a lot of baby hair here, and they tend to go like pointy, you know. And some people have like really like hair going really down, but you know, usually they just go like this. So you have hair going like pointy, a bit pointy. And remember what I will just talk to you, you have your hairline. Usually doesn't go really far, farther than this. And then you have your little layers. Always doing the layer. So basically they grow like this. And this one. You know, you have many layers. I'm just going to do like the big ones. You're just going to see how they work, but you have a lot of layers. And then the little hair In green, they grow like this. Have them right here. And another here for this layer, another here. You just look at some girls that are like some tutorial how to put your hair extension. Basically, they are adding more layers of hair, and this is how they work. Remember the little baby hairs all over, and you don't have like really flat hair, but you know there's a lot of hair growing. And yeah, and for the fringe, you are basically, I'm just going to do like work on the fringe here. You have, so I just told you like about this kind of heart-shaped hairline. When you have a fringe, basically you have your first layer of hair that is growing like, instead of growing on the sides, you're just growing them like in front of you. So you have also, you don't have, the hairline starts above here, you know, instead of starting in the middle. And then you have a layer here, basically. And then you have the other layers like on the other parts of like all the hair styles, but you have this little layer of hair and they grow like this. But depending on how you style it also. But yeah, they grow like this, and you have also, you still have your little baby hairs, and you still have your layers. It doesn't change anything about this. You still have them. You're just creating another layer here, actually. So yeah, and I'm just going to go just a bit on the ear area, especially when people like, when you draw a hairstyle with like pins or a bow, something that is holding the hair. So let's go with the basic hairline like so. And I'm just going to take the blue for this. Just picture like you have your hair being old. There is some kind of any kind of pins or whatever. And here on the hair, you will have this growing because it is holding like with the pin. So you have your hair growing like this. And remember, this little baby hair, you always, well, even if you use like tons of gel, you will have this little baby hair like this. And sometimes they go like near the eyebrow area, but this is how they work. And you can just work like this. You have your basic shape, and then what I just told you before, that little dynamic, you're just going to add a bit more of like hair strokes that are going in the opposite direction, so you can really create your basic shape and you remember this little baby hair and like this. That's yeah, and near and behind the ears, I don't really have like any kind of detailed stuff for this. Behind the ear, I'm just going to go over it. It will just go it follows the shape of your hair, of your ears, basically. They grow in the exact same position. They grow in layers and they just fall around your ears, basically. So yeah, I'm just going, there's nothing specific here. I just draw the back of the head, but just the same as here. So yeah, that's for the hairline, hair implantations. It can be really like a nice help when you work like with a really complicated hairstyle. So yeah, and I think it can be helpful, and I hope that it helped you. But it's not over yet. I've got many other stuff to show to you. Oh, and if you're already bored of something and you really want just to show how to color hair, just like skip to whatever number I will show you here, so you can just check the coloring process. Let's go now with the hair dynamic. So that hair dynamic, hair flow that I just talked to you about, I just have something right here when I just already drew some research on hair strokes. Just let me show you where it is. Yeah, it's right here. I just did this like quick a few days ago. And basically, like I told you, hair is flowing and hair is made of lightweight keratin. So they have to move in some ways. They can't really stay like flat and sticky unless you have tons of gel. So especially when you work like in a windy scene, or when you have a special like tight hair or like some ponytails and they fall off around your face, they will like follow the shape of your head, but they also like the hair dynamic and the hair flow depends a lot on your hair texture and your hair type. But for this particular example, I'm just going to stick like with flat hair, because it's really not working the same way as like with Afro-Caribbean hair or with like Asian hair. And I'll just do with like the hair type just after. So hair dynamic and hair flow. I'm just going to do like 2 examples for this. If you like draw, think about like not windy, and you have your hair like you just draw your hair really flat. There is no motion. There is no like dynamic at all. They just fall like this. This is nice if you want to like to do a manga Asian hair with no wind, for example. But just say you want the same girl, but I'm just going to erase this. You want the same girl, but she has wavy hair and it's windy. How can you do that? So hair flow. First of all, if you don't really know how to work with this, I really recommend you to take like a piece of paper and just practice some hair strokes. Basically, draw like some hair strokes. Try to find the different motions. Go like between the lines, under the lines. Try to work many strokes and add them more and add more, and work with like in layers. Try to work with round motions. Practice like this. Try smaller strokes. Try really long strokes. And it's basically what is made of, like hair is made like this. Whether it's like flat or round or wavy, this is like more of a smooth hair. To work like curly hair, this is really hard to work like flowing curly hair. We'll try to do this. Basically, I don't think it makes a lot of difference, but well, how to draw curls. Okay, let's go with how to draw curls for just like the sake of this tutorial. Curls is made of rounded hair. Basically, you start with the basic hair stroke, and then you go on the opposite direction and you draw this little bouncy thing like this. And when you're here, you finish it and you're just going to get like under it, like it comes from beneath, if that makes sense. And repeat the process and go it again. This is not realistic at all, but this is just the way that curls work, basically. And you're just going to get like really smaller, and when you are at the end, you just, instead of going back, you're just finishing the line. And this is a little like a bouncy curl, I guess. When you have really curly hair, you don't really see the gaps between. They tend to just maybe look at some curly, wavy hair on Google, because I don't really often draw curly hair because it's really long to draw and really long to color. But yeah, basically that's how they work. You can also do like real little frizzy hair. You can just draw a wavy hair like this. The best example for this is also Merida from Brave movie, because she has a lot of like really frizzy and curly hair. And yeah, I think it's a great practice if you want to do like curly hair. You just have to draw Merida because she has tons of hair, and I think it's really funny. I'm working on a Merida fan arts for like, I don't know, maybe like in 1 or 2 weeks maybe. I still have to rework on the sketch, but I will do one because I really love the character. So yeah, I'm just back to this little girl here. So now she's not Asian anymore. She's like maybe from Europe or I don't know. And she has really long and wavy hair, and she's in the windy scene. So just picture like what I just told you, but the dynamic hair is flowing. So if there's wind, they are really flowing. And think about the flow, and for once, just don't work with your arms. Really, just work from your instinct. So she has really long hair, and they just flowing everywhere. And yeah, do this process like take your pencil and work really, really wrong line, and don't think about anything like other things than basically the wind in her hair. So hair is flowing everywhere. And this is what I will call the windy scene. Yeah. Remember to work with the hairline in layers. If you have hair that is growing like this, they will work also like this, and they will come in this position because the wind is coming from this way. For example, if the wind is coming from another way, you will still have hair growing here and hair flowing under the face like this and like this. And I can't really explain more than this. You just have to work with the hair and don't ask yourself too much question. The best way to draw hair is just to really basically look at yours. And the second way of drawing hair is to really focus on the head shape, because quite oftenly, that's the word, very often I see many mistakes of this. They forget about the hairline and their hair growth. Basically, hair is not like Playmobil. Is that I don't know. You don't look like a plastic doll. And it really gives more depth if you have little strokes and if you add dynamic and dimension to the hair. Yes, like this for example, and we're just going to get the really bright red to follow like the basic lines. And something that I didn't talk about is what I will call the forced line. It's really nice when you work on something, if you don't really know like the flow that you want to give, think with arrows. For example, that girl has really nice flowing hair, and you just think about the basic movements that you want to show. For example, the wind is coming from like in front of her, just slightly on the side. The basic like arrow shape is think about the beginning point and where it goes. Basically, the wind is coming from a face and the hair is going like in the opposite direction. This means that one of the forced line here is here. One another forced line comes here, and you have around here another one and another one and one here also. And this is what I will call about dynamic. You have many forced lines, and this is basic physics, you know, the forced lines. You have a lot of breaking points, a lot of like hair that is flowing in the opposite direction, and it gives them like a lot of flowing and a lot of movements. And this is how you can shape hair and draw them in a dynamic and flowing way. It gives a bit like a lot of more difference than just working without it. And this work like with every art style, even if you do like manga art style with really simple hair strokes, you're just instead of drawing every hair, you're just drawing like chunk of it. So for example, if I just go here with some forest line again, let's say that there's not wind, there's wind, but beneath her, like from behind. So basically she has hair that is falling above her like this and like this. They are coming in front of her. Remember about the breaking lines? Just go like in opposite direction and have fun with it. It's really nice if you work with like a sketch to do this like arrow thing. I don't really use this technique because now I'm just really used to drawing hair without, but it's a really nice practice. So now that you have your basic like arrows and false lines, just take another pen. I'm just going to get the blue, and you are going to follow these arrows basically by doing little big chunk of hair, because this is supposed to be manga style, so big chunks of hair. Follow your lines, have fun with it, and do basic like big chunk of hair like this. And you see there's like really small amount of hair strokes. I just like did maybe 20, and there you have your hair. I don't know if you can really see it, but you think you get the idea? Yes, one last example with the hair flow. For example, on short hair, because when you have your hair shorter, sometimes it doesn't really react with the wind. But you can still have any forced lines, because when you have short hair, you just like really often like really style them, because they tend to really get wild, I guess. So let's do another thing. Maybe there is still a bit of wind, and they are going like this. Here, here, here. I'm always picturing a beginning point and the ending point, you know? And then let's go with the green, for example. And this is our, well, not really long, not really like short hair for us, like some short hair. You still have your little hair strokes. Remember the dynamic that I told you? Always break the lines. And there you have it. There's movement and dynamic on like short hair. And if they are shorter, basically there's not really like really a dynamic, but you can still work the texture and work really little strokes of hair. But yeah, most of the time this hair dynamic is only working with long hair. Yeah. I think that's it for the hair dynamic, and I'm going to move on with the hair type, because this is basically like really flat or wavy hair, but it doesn't really, well, it doesn't react in the same way with other kinds of hair. So there are basically three. There's many hair styles. You can have wavy hair, you can have curly hair, you can have frizzy hair, you can have really flat hair. The hair types, the hair texture, like the hair basic like keratin process, I guess, the way they grow is different. You have like the Caucasian hair, which is I don't really know like the medical stuff, but basically the Caucasian hair, which is like mine, is growing like medium thickness, and they tend to grow like really not straight, not frizzy. They're a mix between the others, I guess. The Asian hair, this one is Asian, I think. The Asian hair tends to be really thick, like horsey hair, and really flat. One thing that is really strong and really makes a difference with like Afro-Caribbean hair, so this means like all the African, black, really frizzy hair, they are growing like in round motions. They are really frizzy. They it's not like curly, it's really frizzy, and it's just like the really little hair that is growing like this. And you realize this especially like on the beard of guys, like of black guys. This is really really frizzy, like this, really frizzy. And this is pain in the A. To draw this hair, I never draw Afro-Caribbean hair, not because I don't want to, but because it's really hard and really long. So I'm just going to show you, and I'm just going to try this with you, how to draw different hair types, and just like it doesn't take ages to do it. So the Caucasian hair is pretty simple, because this is the one that I just did like in this previous 20 minutes. The Caucasian hair is really simple to draw. It's a basic flowing, you know, middle, straight, wavy. It doesn't have any specific texture. It's a mix between. You just have really, it doesn't, it depends on people. Some people have really thick, like me, I've got thick, wavy hair. My mom has really flat black hair, and she's not Asian at all. My dad has really curly hair, so yeah, it doesn't depend, you know, you have many kinds of hairs, but basically the Caucasian hair is just a really flowing, simple hair. Doesn't have any kind of it doesn't have any really strong texture. It's a bit more bouncy, a bit more flat, but doesn't have many difference. So just like a really simple way of, this is the easiest to draw, I think. It's easier than the Asian style. The Asian have, like I say, really thick hair and real flat. The Asian hair is really simple. You just have to do really flat hair, basically. And they tend to really fall. For most Asians that I see, they have really flat and straight hair. You know? Just picture them falling, basically. They're always really, they maybe are heavier because they are thicker, maybe. Onto the really hard part here is this little girl, which is supposed to look like maybe some kind of black woman. I don't really draw a lot of Afro-Caribbean characters, but a simple way to draw this is to work like really in round motions. So this big, let's just say she has a really afro, chunky hair. You're just going to really go in a round motion like this. Round. Sometimes they have a bit of a growing hairline, like they tend to go a bit around the temples. Well, it's just something that I see from like my own friends on some pictures online. Of like African girls and all this kind of stuff. Of course, you can always mix like the texture. You don't have to work with really this kind of hair just because she looks like African. Because a lot of Afro-Caribbean girls tend to like flat them, or they do a lot of hairstyles to make them look more curlier instead of really frizzy. So yeah, you can just work like this, and you can also, and for example, if you want to line it, you're just going to line some parts. I'm just going to get like a pen, black, something black, for example, and just going to work like in some areas like this. You're just going to enhance some bit. Maybe have some little strokes that are flowing a bit around it, going like under the basic shape, like I said. It's a bit harder to break this because they are like really poofy hair. That this is, I think it looks not bad, or it looks pretty real to me. But yeah, this is basically like this hair, really frizzy hair. And if you want this to be like long, because she's like having short hair here, it doesn't make really any difference. I'm just going to do another head here. And well, basically it's just a bit more poofy, I guess. Think about like the really frizzy Beyonce or something like this, or any kind of black, really stronger, like really big poofy hair. And well, the wind with this hairstyle is not reacting the same way. It's going to be more moving like a big chunk of hair, like it's all the hair is moving at the same time, because they are so tied together, they are so frizzy that there's not little hair strokes really like moving with each other. They are not really free. They're really holding the shape together when they are like really natural, I guess. So this is just like they work. Really frizzy, really curl. Just do like this little frizzy motion like this, and you have like a really puffy, poofy like Afro-Caribbean hair. And yeah, I think that's it for the hair type. So haircuts. Well, I'm just going to go this really quickly and try some example with you. You can cut hair in many ways. You can have really like simple way to cut them. You can have like asymmetric. You can shave one side. You can have longer on one side. You can shave everything. You can have like bold hair. You can have really long and curly. You're gonna do whatever you want. There's no limits with a haircut, because hair grows back. You can have, yeah, you can really have fun with this. So I'm just going to like maybe have fun with you if you have time. Just take a piece of paper and draw some basic head shape. Don't like waste too much time on this, and maybe like pause this video and draw some head shapes, and then play it again, and we're going to do some haircuts. So for example, let's do something shaved on one side. I never drew like something shaved on one side. I'm just going to shave this side here. So when you shave your hair, I will never do that, but when you have like a shaved hair, you are basically shaving all of the layers, and then you have your upper layer that is still here. So usually they are like side parted, because these may look weird if you have like your hair grow and don't have any layers under it. So let's do like a really side like part curly hair. Just have fun and mix everything. For example, like a frizzy shaved hair. Let's go with a frizzy shaved hair. So you have really bouncy things like this, kind of like Willow Smith. So she has like short hair, kind of like gradients, layering thing. And like this. And this is shaved. But you remember, this is frizzy hair, so it's when it's shaved, it still does this really round way of growing. It's just shorter. Yay! She's weird. No? Kinda does look a bit weird, but you know, just have fun. What else we can do? Yeah, you know, maybe some like asymmetric avant-garde stuff, like really pointy hair with a pointy fringe. Kind of like an alien hairstyle. Something that doesn't really look really realistic, but it's a drawing, so whatever. We don't really care about that. And just follow this shape. We're having fun. Remember, having fun. And this hair, yeah, this part is longer. Because she's cutting her hair herself. You know, you can do any kind of stuff that you want to do. This one has like hair just under here, kind of like a mermaid hair, and you have a tons of gel, and this and a little punky hair, I guess, like this, and this part here is just completely flattened. And it comes in the front because it's funny. I think I'm gonna just stop like right here. I'm just going to just, you know, I just wanted to show some example of haircuts and like some hairstyles also. I'm just going to keep going on the specific hairstyle, and I'm just going to show you like some basic like how to draw braids and ponytails. But you get the idea of haircuts. You can do whatever you want as long as you keep pretty much your things. The first thing is the hair type, of course. because frizzy hair is not reacting the same way. You have to keep also the little arrow force line that I talked about, because you can see right here, there's my force line like this. This one has one here, one here, one here. This has a big false line that is going under, above, around, sorry, our head, and one in the opposite direction. The dynamic, remember? Dynamic? Yeah, 3 major steps. The air kind, the flow, basically, the flow of it, force line, and dynamic. You know, this is really easy. Really, really easy. Let's keep going. One last thing before we get to the coloring process. I'm just going to go with the technique on, well, how to draw loose hair. I think you get the idea because I draw a lot of loose hair. But I wanted just to talk about the braiding stuff. You can do many kind of braids. You can do like fishtail braid, 3 strokes braid, 4-piece, 5-piece. There's one that is doing amazing tutorials on how to braid hair. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, so you can just check this and maybe Google some braid hairstyles to really see how they look. But I wanted to just to show you a great technique and a really easy technique on how to draw braids. You can see right here I've did like 4 kinds of braids, and the easiest one to make is the fishtail braid, and one of the easiest also is the regular braid. I'm just going to show you the easiest way to draw braid, whether it's like around the face, around the head, any kind of braid, basically anywhere on your head. You're just going to start off like with the middle line, I guess. Just take like a beginning point. Anywhere else, I'm just going to do this on this girl here. You're just going to take a beginning point. So for example, just picture that she has a braid that is going just near her face right here. I'm just going to start here on the side, and you draw the middle line and you follow like your shape. Like she has a really long braid, so you just do the middle line, and then it's going to be really easier. I'm just going to get a pen for this so you can really see. So just picture you have a middle line, and then you're going to start off here. You draw the basic this part here, and you just connect in the middle, and then you're just going to do this the opposite side, and you repeat the process, always connecting to the line basically, and try to go slightly further the line that you just made before to create this zigzag shape, you know, like this, and you basically following your middle line, and you're creating your little braid. You're creating, follow like the dynamic that I just told you. She has a really big braid, but it's just the technique that I'm using when I draw braids. You can also do the zigzag technique, which is a bit more hard to do, because you have to really be precise on the zigzags that you're making, because they have to be really like the exact same way each time you make them. So for example, you can just do it exactly the same way. Just do your middle line, and then work from the beginning point and do like do a little zigzag like this. I don't really like this technique, but it's a nice way of practicing if you don't really know how to draw the braids. And then you're just going to connect, get over this line like here. You're just going to start here and connect the other zigzag with it, like this. And this is how you made like another kind of braid. It's a bit more like thicker, I guess. You're connecting each point of the zigzag with the bouncy part of the braid, like this, the bouncy part. I don't know if that makes sense, but you did get the idea. It's a really thick one also. And the last well, the last braid. The fishtail braid is one of the easiest one. I'm just going to go here. You just take like also the middle part, and fishtails are like 2 strokes of hair that is just going around it in the middle. So this is just the easiest. You just take like a. I'm just going to get a thinner pen. You're just going to get like a roundy motion and go all the way in the middle. Sorry, I'm just going to close it. It doesn't make any sense like this. Yeah, just going to go like with this motion, like round and go back in the middle, round, go back in the middle, like this. Round, go back in the middle, round, and just going to do this like smaller section once you reach the end of your braid. And do this in the other side. Round, go in the middle, round and go in the middle. And voila, a little fishtail braid. And of course, you don't have really to do the middle line if you don't want to do it. You can just do this like with a pencil that you will remove it after, so you don't have to. So you don't really see it after. And also you can work with many other patterns of braids, like 5 piece of hair. I don't really know how to draw this. Just like just search on Google, so you can just find more hairstyles of braids. But this is basically the like the way I draw them. And anywhere on the head is basically the same. I'm always using this little middle line and then work around it because it's way more easier. And there's also the really simple way of drawing them without the drawing line. I basically, sometimes when I sketch, I just do like this, like, I'm just going really fast. You just going like maybe like a lemon shape, you know. Do like across lines of lemon shape or a heart shape, and always go in the middle. But with this technique, it's really hard to really like get the flow of hair, especially if you have braids that are windy. This is more like for flat braids, or maybe like when you have on the side of your face or something like that. Yeah, I was supposed to do like some example of braiding, but I think you get the idea because it's working essentially the same with many hairstyles, and I don't have any ID right now, but yeah, just Google it, just search for braiding stuff, and for like, this is like an illustrative way of drawing them, but when they realistic or manga, it's exactly the same. When you are working like with a manga braid, you're just going to get less lines, and if you're working in a realistic way, you're just going to really add more details. It's always the same. So yeah, tied hair and ponytails is not really easy to make. It sounds easy when you think about ponytail because you just have like all the hair wrapped around your face and then you have the ponytails hanging. But it's not really easy, especially when you work like from the face view, because you don't really know where the ponytail is tied up. So that's why I'm just going to do like a really quick example on this, so you can really see how these goes like from different views. So let's go with like basic ponytails, and also one that is half up, or I guess something like that. No, I'm just going to do like some like 2 ponytails for this one. Let's see. Ready now the pen, and you just going, well, this is actually essentially the same, but when you tied like your hair, they always, you remember like that little forest line I talked about? Basically you're just going to get them like this, you know. For example, if you have like 2 ponytails, they're just going to get like this. And well, she has French, whatever, why not? And they come like around it like this, and then you have like a little tie, And when you draw like hair coming from an elastic band, yeah, like this, you can like draw them realistic way, manga, or really simple. And when they are a bit more illustrative, like I say, remember the dynamic. There's always that little hair that is growing in a different position and is going in opposite direction, and they are going around like this. They kind of break the little shape. But when you work like with manga, really simplified hair, you see there's not like so much difference. There's one shape, and they all falling in the same direction. You have like big chunks of hair basically. But yeah, when I just wanted to draw here, it's really important to really think that they are exploding from the elastic band, because they are like compressed here. So when they came like from it, they have to like really bounce basically. They bounce from it like this. Even if you have like less flat hair, they still come from it like this. You see, they always come. Oh my god, this is horrible. But yeah, I think you get the idea. Yeah. So this is like tied hair. Let's go with like a half ponytails. So basically, you have your hair tied like this. You get all your layers, and you tie them like here. Sometimes people like tie only on the side, and this part here are flattened under. You can do it like this. I like when it's completely flat and inside, like tucked in the elastic band. But yeah, then you have your little. I'm just going to do this in a separate colors. You have your under layers that are coming like freely, and then you have your little bouncing, exploding ponytails that is coming like this. You see, she kind of looks a bit weird, but this is why I usually don't think this hairstyle suits very well, unless you have like a really fringe or something to frame your face. It's really nice to like leave some hair strokes. You get the idea of like a half ponytail, half tied, half loose. And for the last one here, I'm just going like to do really flat, low ponytails. So let's go with like a red for this. You still have your your head like tied here. Just picture like your elastic band, and they all coming from it, and they frame your face. And remember about the hairline, you know, and they basically just frame your face. Baby hair. And then when they come from this, they explode. Always. Yeah. Like this. Ponytail. And oh yeah, this works essentially the same when you have like a lot of ponytails. Maybe if you want to draw like a girl with side ponytails, this part here, like with the elastic and the popping of the elastic, you just going to repeat this like for each little ponytails. But of course, if they are little, they are not going to like explode the same way. But you get the idea, I think. I think that's it for like just the basic. I think I just went through a lot of stuff, but this is like what I just told you before. I can't really teach like in 2 seconds or 2 minutes. This has to be really long, and I didn't like finish, and I think there's a lot of different stuff and a lot more stuff to explain about hair, but you just have to practice and have fun with it. So yeah, I think that's it for all the drawing part of this tutorial.